Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Kenny. Welcome back to Fandom Frequency. I know it's been a minute since we dropped anything, guys. We've been going through a little bit of a hiatus. I had a few technical difficulties and whatnot, but we got some new content starting with this trailer breakdown right here. We're gonna have some more stuff coming for you. I got some pre-taped episodes and stuff because, as you see, the shelf is empty. I've been going through, or not going through, but I'm in the process of moving, so I'm packing up everything and whatnot. So I had to get this out to you guys though, and I had to get my thoughts out there to the world to let the people know, man, because as you see by the shirt, Ghostface is back in full effect, guys. Scream 2022, Scream 5, whatever you want to call it. I prefer Scream 5. It's coming January 14th, 2022, y'all, and I am so hyped with this trailer right here that just dropped the other day, man. And I gotta say, I am very pleased, man. It's a very dope trailer overall. I think it actually gives you a little bit of the flavor of the film without actually really giving anything away, and plenty of misdirects aplenty all over the place, man. I am very sure of it because in true Scream fashion, that's what's going on because like the poster says, it's always someone you know. So we know we got another crazy mystery, another whodunit coming up. But this is going to be a trailer breakdown, so we're not going to go through literally every single shot, but I want to go through some of the details and some of the things that I noticed in the trailer that stuck out to me and some interesting little theories that I have because, as you guys can tell by the shirt and overall, and as I've stated before, I am a huge Scream fan. It's my favorite horror film. One of the first it's actually the first slasher film I ever saw. So I have a very big affection for the franchise. Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4, man. I like them all. Obviously, 3 is the weakest of the bunch, but I love 1, obviously. 2 is also very good to me. I love 2. And 3 is just a step down, of course. 4, I think, is actually a pretty solid sequel, but doesn't quite live up to what we know and isn't quite in sync. But I think it was a beautiful gift that Wes left to us, the Scream fans, man, 10 years ago. And I think it's a very solid entry in the series, and I actually like it a lot and have a lot of fun with it, man. But like we all know, the original is the one. But just wanted to give you guys a little background on my perspective coming into this new movie. So I'm a diehard fan of the Scream franchise, so you know I'm going to be one of those guys, one of those people going into the film that's hyped for it, regardless of what the trailer had in store for us. But this trailer really kicks ass, man, because we start off with that opening scene of Tara, that character named Tara, coming in. And, you know, you got the Drew Barrymore vibes from the OG film right there. You know what I'm saying? Ghostface texting instead of calling, though, where he's calling on the landline and he's texting. So I like the blend right there of the old and the new. You know what I'm saying? And I love him fucking with the, or her, or whoever it is, fucking with the app on the phone, like, door unlocked, door locked, door unlocked. She's like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then he comes from behind and everything is like, yeah. Man, I just love all that stuff, man. It's just that initial setup, which kind of makes it seem like it could be the opening of the film, but who knows? It could be a misdirect right there too. But I wouldn't be too surprised if it was the opening, but I'm gonna lean more on misdirection. I think that's gonna be one of the first kills, but that could be the whole thing that kicks it off, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised, especially with them titling this Scream and not Scream 5. You know, all the homage of this being a not necessarily a full reboot, but a continuation, if you will. So I think they definitely wanted to throw that in there. And yeah, man. So going on from there, just getting to get reintroduced with, you know, the original 3, man. You know, getting to see Dewey up top, like, yo, 3 attacks happened already. It's going down, and he's calling Sydney, and they're like, oh shit, man, what's going on? And then we get right into it, yo, and then we just start seeing how all the new cast coming into it, you know, Melissa Barrera's character Sam meeting Sydney, you know what I'm saying? When she's like, hey, she's like, wait, I already know who you are. And she's like, okay, well, I know what you're going through, and, you know, let me help you out and let me guide you here. And I like how she's getting that Jamie Lee Curtis, that Laurie Strode role in this. I really didn't think she was going to be in the film that much, honestly. I didn't think the original 3 were going to be in there that much, but it seems like Dewey's kind of getting the Randy role where he kind of knows the rules and kind of is letting everybody know what's going down. And then you got Sydney, who's the final girl, you know, Laurie Strode style, who's going to be helping the new Sydney in a way get through this whole situation. So I like seeing that whole introduction there. And there's a lot of cool little inklings and little things here thrown in there. You know, you're going to get characters from all the different films and everything, because you got Judy Comer, I believe her last name is, coming back from Scream 4. And you got her son in the film that's actually going to be played by Dylan Minnette. And that's going to be his character, the dirty blonde guy there. And I actually really like Dylan Minnette as an actor overall. So it's cool to see him in this, because he's been one of my favorite horror thrillers of the past, decade or so, with Don't Breathe. And he's been in some other stuff, 12 Reasons Why and all those kind of things. So he's a really good actor, man. I really like his work. And I'm really excited to see him in here. And I just read that in an interview the other day that he's playing her son. And I'm like, oh shit, man, I didn't know that. But, take that as a spoiler, if you will. There's going to be a spoiler alert on the thumbnail, so you guys already know, just in case you don't want to know literally anything. But since they put that out there, I figured that's not too big of a spoiler, obviously, because they don't want to spoil anything, being that it's a Scream movie. They're always, ultra secretive and everything like that. And then we finally get to see the return of Gail and everything. And that was awesome, with that one scene right there where she's like, are you ready for this? And he's like, are you ready for this? And she's like, never. Right after you see they're strapped.
You ready for this?
They ready to go. Looks like a 9 or a 40 cal, bro. They ready to go, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? Just that overall development of Sydney's character. Like, of course, I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I got a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff works so well, and it's definitely very much the character of Sidney Prescott, Dewey, Gale. It all feels very organic to those characters from all the previous 4 original Scream movies. And speaking of all the previous Scream movies, we get that scene with everyone in that little living room there talking about the fact that this Ghostface is targeting all his victims that have died so far, in whatever point in the film that is. He's targeting relatives of the original killers. Now, people are kind of wondering, does that mean all the original films or just the original film, meaning Billy and Stu? You know what I'm saying? But I think they're probably going to be leaning heavily on those two guys' relatives. But I actually think they're going to be killing relatives of the killers of all 4 films. Now, this is just my theory, and I'm putting this out there, and I think it was a little bit more supported inadvertently in my mind when I saw this interview with the directors, Matt Butnerly and the other guy from Radio Silence. And they had an interview with all those guys from Radio Silence, and they were talking about the fact that they wanted to make this an homage to all 4 original Scream movies, and they love all 4 original Scream movies, and they really stressed, how much love and care they're putting into make sure they kind of address the whole entire canon, if you will, in a sense. And you got characters from Scream 4 coming back, and they're killing characters of the original killers from before, and there could obviously be, and it looks like they're in Stu's house from that one shot that looks very OG Scream, you know what I'm saying, with that Dutch angle of Melissa Barrera's character right there in the doorway, which looks like Stu's house. And you get Sydney walking up to what looks like not Sid's house. Oh my gosh, you got Sid walking up to what looks like Stu's house. You know what I'm saying, from the original film, where they got the Airbnb going up that your boy wish he was going to be booking, but I can't get up there, so that kind of blows. But anyway, you got that all going on. So it's like, why are we back at Stu's place? Like, why does everything come back to here? Even one of Nev Campbell's lines in the film, in the trailer, man, like, he wanted to draw us all back to here. What is the link to our past? You know what I'm saying? That makes him wants to make him link us all back to here. What is it about this Ghostface that wants to kill all these different people from all the original killers' family and the bloodline and all that stuff? Like, what does that have to do with one another? Because obviously, linking back to some of the other films, Scream 3, you got Sydney's brother coming back, apparently, half brother, and all this other things, and all these things going on with her mom. Scream 4, you got things going down with her cousin. So is it going to be tied to Sydney? Is it going to be Sydney? You know what I'm saying? That's what everyone, there's all these theories flying out there. Is Stu going to be back in the mix? You know what I'm saying? Is Kirby back? Is Judy from the previous films the killer? You know what I'm saying? Did she have an ulterior motive? Was she involved in Scream 4? You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. They did that with Scream 3 before, tying in characters, other things. She does tie back to the originals and all these different things. Kirby being a fan of all the stab movies, horror movies, and knowing the history of everything, and actually having met Sydney and saying, oh, this is an honor, and stuff like that, when Ghostface says that at the end of this trailer right here. So who knows, man? It's all a crazy, for freaking hodgepodge and a mind fuck of a trailer, man. I absolutely dig it, man, and I love what I saw. And overall, Ghostface ain't playing. He is fucking people up. He's crushing ankles. People are getting lit on fire, and he's stabbing people like normal, man. So, and he's hacking your apps. Ghostface really ain't playing. His voice is even like darker and more sinister in this. And like I said, the trailer didn't have too much humor in it. I'm sure the film's gonna have plenty of humor, as most Scream films do. But I did see in that interview with Radio Silence, the filmmakers behind this, taking over for Wes, that they want to strike that balance of the humor and the horror that Scream is so well known for doing, but they also wanted to make Ghostface a very credible threat. They really wanted to up the ante as far as Ghostface and really making him a vicious motherfucker. So I really hope they follow through with that, because he has not been as vicious as he has been back in that original film with, you know, Stu and Billy and all that, the way they were really killing people. You know, that whole opening with Homegirl getting hung up in the tree with her guts hanging out and all that. She got gutted. You know what I'm saying? She literally got gutted. And people are getting, you know, shot up and stabbed, and people getting hung from flagpoles, which we didn't see, which I wish we did saw, which I wish we did see, and we never saw. And then you have the whole scene that was cut from the OG Scream, where Billy and Stu were actually stabbing each other, you know, in the iconic scene near the end. And there was a cut before in the original intent of that scene. Wes Craven wanted to show them literally the whole entire time stabbing each other. None of those cutaways. But they made him do it for the sake of the R rating. So, you know, you have all that stuff in the back of, you know, all us Scream fans who really know all this crazy trivia have this stuff going in the back of our heads. So who knows how vicious this really is going to be. But I think just from those few clips in the trailer of the fire and the ankle, you know, snapping, I think Ghostface is going to be fucking people up huge and big time. But please, if you're watching this on the YouTubes, let me know your theories down below in the comment section. I want to hear from y'all, man. All my fellow horror fans, movie fans, Scream fans, I want to hear from y'all. And thanks for tuning in and checking out the show. And all the people over there in the podcast network, we are way past 200 downloads, baby. We're trying to get to that like 250, 300 and so on. So the show keeps growing, the show keeps going, and I just want to say I appreciate all you guys for checking it out. We got a little bit of a more simplistic episode for this one, guys, but we're going to be in full effect real soon in November, and my new setup and all that stuff. We're going to have some content between now and then with Halloween kills and all that other crazy stuff, man. So keep checking out the show. Make sure you click that subscribe button here on the YouTube. It helps us out immensely. Download it over there on the podcast. That's definitely going to help us out a lot. So make sure you stay tuned. Don't sleep. What's your favorite scary movie?